Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed over the last year. I'm totally shocked everyone subscribed, and I'm assuming most of you are subscribed for ferret content, so here's Benji. Doot doot doot. But today I actually wanted to talk to you about something that relates more to my career as a dietitian, but maybe we'll come back to some ferret content at the end if you stick around. But yeah, Benji's eating right now, so I'm gonna let him do his thing. Oh, okay. If you're not a dietitian, we have to do continuing education credits basically every year, but every 5 years we have to submit 75 continuing education credits. So I've seen posts on like Reddit and Facebook and heard stories about dietitians that have forgotten to do their or waited to the last minute to submit their credits. And so being a new dietitian, I wanted to make sure that I didn't get myself in that situation, so I wanted to stay organized. So in order to stay organized and on top of all of it, I designed myself what I'm calling the Continuing Education Planner. So today I figured I'd walk you through the planner and what I do to keep organized. And if you're interested in purchasing the PDF of the planner, I'll explain where you can get your copy at the end of the video. And also maybe sneak in some more ferret content at the end, we'll see. So here is a flip through of the Continuing Education Planner. So the planner consists of 8 pages that I designed with kind of a minimalist style, simple color scheme, and with this aesthetic and practical dotted grid design. So going through all of the different pages, we have the cover, which you can use to mark down your cycle years. You can either leave it plain and just throw it in the sleeve of a binder like I did, or you can color it. And next we have the Learning Activity Notes sheet. So this one is a 2-sided document. On the front, there are sections for relevant CPEU information, a big section on the left for notes. On the right-hand side, there's a questions section, and then at the bottom right, there's reflections. And then the back is the exact same, except there's no CPEU information box at the top. There's just more room for notes and questions and stuff. And I usually print these out before I sit down to watch a webinar or do any kind of learning activity, so that way I can take notes, write down questions that I have beforehand, questions that come up during, or things that I want to look up later. I included the section for reflections. Since the CDR activity log we have to write like a short blurb about how the activity impacted us and if there's anything we'll do differently as a result of the activity. So if you don't enter your activities into the log immediately after, having this section with even just a few thoughts can do yourself a huge favor later. That I have found has been very helpful for me. Last little section that I want to just point out at the top, there's a checkbox at the top, so that way when you're going through your binder, you know, yep, I did this one. So the next sheet is the goals sheet, which I think is one of the most, if not the most important sheet here. I keep this page at the front of my binder so that way I see it first thing whenever I open it. We all have unique goals, and it's important to write them down and come back to them regularly just to reflect and kind of recalibrate. We all entered this profession of dietetics with different hopes and goals and visions for what our future would be, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to reach those career goals. I think the important thing is to write them down, establish a plan, hit your milestones. Maybe you don't hit your milestones and need to recalibrate. The important thing is to just keep working toward what got us excited about this profession in the first place. So this sheet features sections for each year in your cycle. So if you want to write down specific, I'm in year 1, what goals do I want to get accomplished this year? All right, year 1 is over. What did I get done? What do I want to roll over to year 2? And what new goals do I have for year 2? And so on and so forth. And then sections down below that for a 5-year plan. What do I want to get done in my first 5-year cycle? And then longer term goals kind of off in the distance down at the bottom. Okay, so this next page, this is a tool I have found very useful for planning out my blog posts, forming business ideas. Mind maps are useful for so many things, like reflecting on or understanding concepts from your learning activities, plotting out your presentations, planning podcasts, and all sorts of things like that. So obviously you can just draw your own mind map, but I find it useful to have kind of a template already done up so that way I can just start filling it out. These next few pages that I'm going to show you are all trackers, which I personally find satisfying to fill them out, but they can sometimes be a little bit hard to keep up on. So if you find they're becoming a source of stress or you can't keep up and they're just kind of like a time suck and not useful, then just skip over these. The CPEU Tracker can help you and make sure you're kind of on track without having to log into CDR all the time. And you can also use it to color code them for which sphere they're from, for example, if that's, you know, how you want to organize. And then there's also a section at the bottom to jot down recommendations of resources like webinars, books, articles, journals. You know, sometimes a colleague will mention a book or they saw a webinar that you missed out on and you want to write that down so you can come back to it. This is a section where you can do that. Alright, so the next tracker is a time tracker, and I use this every day to track my work hours and keep track of hours I spend on freelance jobs. I've used it to do a time audit, and I expect not everybody's interested in writing their hours. I just don't like having that extra document open on my computer throughout the day, so I just keep this sheet next to me on my desk, and I can just quickly jot down what I was doing, what time it was, and blah blah blah. This one, the daily tracker, is kind of like a version of Year in Pixels, the journaling page that a lot of people do. But instead of pixels, I called them atoms because science. I have found it useful for tracking my workouts. So I use the key on the right hand side to color code how many minutes I do. It's helped me visualize and track my progress, so that has been hugely motivating for me. So if you have another habit, whether it's working out or something else that you want to improve on, then tracking may be useful to help keep you motivated. So this last tracker, last page of the bundle, is probably the most aesthetically pleasing page, I think. It's the book tracker. So it has 5 shelves, and each shelf has a blank label that you can fill in with whatever you like. You know, maybe you have a to-read shelf on if you're studying renal nutrition, or you have some specialized topic that you want to learn more about. You can write out all the books that you want to get through. You can track them here. I like to write them out and then color them in once I have it done. I hope it's as useful as I hoped it would be. So yeah, that's the whole planner. I just wanted to highlight a few other design aspects that I considered when I was creating it. So the main reason I made it a PDF was so if you ordered it, you could get it immediately. You didn't have to wait for it to be delivered. You can get it and start printing it out as soon as you download it. It's super convenient, and you can print as few or as many pages as you need, and you can use it year after year. You pay for it once, and you've got it for your lifetime. So another design aspect was I wanted it to be pretty without sucking your printer completely dry, so I did the dotted grid because it's functional, doesn't use up too much ink, and it's kind of aesthetically pleasing. I like the look of the dots instead of lined paper, and it's more subtle than graphing paper. And then you can also customize the planner. So let's say you know that you're going to want to do some mind mapping with a webinar that you're watching. You can print out front page of the notes section with the CPEU information at the top, and then the back page could be a mind map. So you can print it however you like and customize it however works for you. If you want to print out 8 daily trackers, then go crazy. I think that's nice to be able to print it out however you like, instead of purchasing a planner that has set number of pages of each design. You can print out as many of whatever that you need. So the other thing is all the pages should be able to be hole punched, depending on your hole puncher and what binder thing you're going to be putting it in. But they should be able to be hole punched on either the left side or the right side. So if you really want to set up a left-handed binder, you could do that. So for all my left-handed people out there, I hope that is useful to you. And of course, just the fact that it's a binder thing and not like a spiral bound notebook or anything. You can obviously take the pages out completely and just write on them as you would. And then also not included in the total page count, but is in most of the pages that are not a double-sided page. The second page is a quote blank page, but it's not blank, it's a dotted grid, so that way you can use it for whatever you like. If you want to do notes and drawing, freehand mind maps, brainstorming, data tables, whatever you need to use that for. So last but not least, how do you get it? There's a link in the description box below if you want to get your digital copy of the planner. It's available now to purchase at rd2rd.com/vendor/the_Kerminator. Just go to my shop page, click on the planner, click purchase, and complete the checkout process, and then the document will be available for your download right after checkout. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love for you to give the planner a try and let me know what you think. I hope to build off of it and create more pages and expand on the planner in the future. So your feedback, critiques, criticisms, likes, dislikes will all be taken into consideration with future rollouts. So please, please, please feel free to leave comments on this video, reviews on the shop page, or DM me. I'm just letting me know your thoughts on it. If it's useful, if it's useless, all thoughts are welcome. And yeah, thanks so much.
What do you think? All right, so that was it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. They're so loud right now. I chose a poor time to film this. It's playtime. Okay, hang on. So I didn't want to have that. My God. Hey! Hey! Chill. Alright, what trouble are you guys getting into up here? Get him, Benj! Hey! Get him! Not you. Oh, shit. Alright. Fine. What are you doing? Oh shit! What you doing? You're so cute. Oh, so exciting on the bed. Excuse you. Troublemaker.